This guy is me, Eric Pepper Rivera, and this short film was shot to promote my first published graphic novel, The Hat Boyz with One Piece Books. The story is basically about these two teenagers getting caught up in an uncompromising situation involving drugs and violence, and them doing their best to get out of it. The story takes place in a small community called Watts, located in south central Los Angeles, and the plan was to shoot every iconic location in Watts that's featured in the book, to show the readers that what they were reading was authentic. So my friend slash bandmate slash cameraman named Patrick and I got in my 2005 Toyota Camry and drove through the 2-mile wide, 2-mile long landscape that is Watts. And watching back the footage, I noticed how much I love my neighborhood. Don't get me wrong, I always knew I loved Watts. You don't have to look any further than any of the countless projects where I celebrate the culture and people of South Central. But this is the first time I got to see what other people see when they listen to me talk about it. I got to see how I describe the sights, like the Rainbow Bridge, where I smoked weed for the first time with my friends, or the Nickerson Gardens housing projects where I grew up. I get to point out the Watts Towers Arts Center, where I got my start as an artist, or 103rd Street, where I stand on the history that is the 1965 Watts Uprising. Observing myself in the third person walking through Watts, I realized what a catharsis making the Hat Boyz has been. I initially set out to comment on police violence in underserved neighborhoods and to express how an environment can greatly inform life's choices and decisions. But the Hat Boyz is so much more than that. It's rich with references to cinema, TV, literature, art, as well as a myriad of other things. With comics, time and place become an open canvas for graphic novelists like me to explore the big ideas. And if you zoom out far enough from my story, the big idea with the Hat Boyz is it's a window. Windows are a subtle literary device I use in the book, but in general play a huge role for me both metaphorically and in life. The panels of a graphic novel function as windows and allow the reader to closely observe without interaction and receive whatever message head on. Writers wield this great superpower of informing and putting things in perspective, opening windows into new worlds. Stories like The Hat Boyz in the wrong hands can become voyeuristic and can affirm the fears of the other. Perhaps that's why I'm so obsessed with getting it right. It being representing the neighborhood with the bias of an individual who's actually lived through the experiences described. I'm self-aware enough to understand that this video is perhaps a little over the top with its meta, but it's always important to have reflection. That's how you can change yourself and perhaps begin to change things around you for the better. I also understand that the Hat Boyz is the voice of a single individual, and whether I did a good job with what I set out to do is totally subjective. If you'd pick any of these people off the street and you'd ask them what their Watts experience is, you're gonna get completely different perspectives. I urge you, read the book yourself and make up your mind about it on your own. Also, in the wise words of LeVar Burton, you don't have to take my word for it. You could just take Kim's word for it.
It's off the chain. It's hood, ghetto, Afro Mexicana.
Yeah.
Boom, mixed together.
That's right.
It's tight though.